To another Book of Stephen podcast. This is Silence of the Lambs, the Destruction of the Feeding Place 2. If you didn't watch the first Silence of the Lambs video, go watch it. Basically, what this video or podcast is going to entail is the devious plot of the Americans to destroy a football field in order to use it for a rallying point for war against Muslims. Now, if you don't know, God gave me a revelation a few years ago about America's war against Islam. Well, I'm not going to rehash it. I'll just go to the video and let's watch what God told me a few years ago about what America had planned for a football field.
One last thing. This video was made before there were any terrorist attacks, but I know about them because God showed me America's heinous plan for scapegoating Islam. Now, the most heinous attack is going to be, he's shown me at an empty football stadium, and that's ironic because my dream that will end up saving America is that of the greatest celebration of history, which is supposed to occur at a football stadium, Thoreau Field, which should be renamed Aaron O'Neal Field pretty soon. And so what God has planned he has good planned at a football stadium. America has evil planned at a football stadium. I just wanted to point that out. This video predates any terrorist attacks or anything that's happened so far, but God showed me what had happened, so I showed you. Hope this brings light to you on everything that's going on. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, that was the end of that. But yeah, God showed me that America would try and use the football field as, a catalyst to scapegoat Muslims and be able to legally hold war against them, according to Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. I also showed you in the last video how God told me that the football field would be my pulpit, and also how he had called me and commissioned me to spread the gospel to Muslims, which means that while America wants to use it as a war rallying point, it's a feeding place for me, where I will feed an unfed yet unfed group of sheep and group of lambs, according to the promise made to Abraham that Ishmael would be surely blessed. That's what God said. Now, am I the only one that is, oh, no, before I get to that, the NFL owners are at the center of this conspiracy. They have convicted themselves with their treatment of Colin Kaepernick as war profiteers. There's this article on Think Progress and a bunch of others websites. The NFL treats patriotism as a brand, and Colin Kaepernick is ruining it. It discusses pay patriotism, how the NFL has been being paid by the Defense Department to hold these soldiers coming home events, and the national anthem with the big flags and all the soldiers, how that's paid for. This article discusses all of that, and it's very disturbing in that once this story broke, the NFL. Let's look at this right here. Last year, it was real. The Department of Defense paid the NFL team $6.1 million between 2012 and 2015 for military tributes at games, including the field-size American flags, flyovers, and fireworks. The NFL announced in May that it was returning $724,000 of that. So when this story came out, immediately NFL teams began to return the money because they did not want to look like the greed mongers that they really were, and did not want the controversy with Colin Kaepernick to be exposed at what it really was, which is an attack on a young man who subconsciously, through protesting the murder of young black males in America by police, was standing against or shedding light on the complete darkness of the U.S. government at this time, and their attempt to use the football field as a recruiting tool, because you have to understand that the demographic between sporting events and the military is the exact same, which is what, about 15 to 30. So, you know, this is something that the NFL is not mad at Kaepernick or blackballing him because of politics. It's because they know where they want, the owners know where they want the war to start, and it's at the football field. And Kaepernick subconsciously has been a barrier to that and has been killing people's thirst for patriotism and blind delusion about America, what it really stands for, what the national anthem stands for. He's really interrupting that. But I wanted to get to the fact that I'm not the only world leader that knows about this, and I know I'm not. And I wanted to go to, you know, Robert, you know, a couple years ago or some years ago, Vladimir Putin stole the Super Bowl ring from Robert Kraft. Let's just watch the video real quick and hear about this from CBS News. I don't want to like rehash the story. Let's just hear about it from them. I think it's very interesting though, because it reveals that hell, you know, the world leaders are probably hip to the fact of what the United States is aiming to do, what they're trying to do here. At least in my mind, it does. I mean, why would a head of state steal something from such a famous figure? Apparently, you know, Robert Kraft was there on some type of a business trip or whatever. What kind of business was he doing in Russia? And whatever kind of business it is, did his business partner...
The owner of the New England Patriots says Russian President Vladimir Putin stole one of his Super Bowl rings. It happened during a visit to St. Petersburg in 2005. Kraft also says he was pressured into covering up the incident by the Bush White House. And the story is getting more attention just hours before Putin meets with President Obama. Chip Reed is in Washington. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning, Charlie and Nora. You know, there's always been a lot of intrigue behind the scenes at the Kremlin. Add that to the mystery at the upper levels of the NFL, and you get one very bizarre story. This video from 2005 shows Russian President Vladimir Putin holding the Super Bowl ring that belonged to Robert Kraft. Putin admired it, even tried it on, and then kept it.
For a minute there, it looked like there'd been a weird mix-up.
The Patriots owner said he gave the ring as a token of his, quote, respect and admiration for Putin. Beth Noble was the CBS News Moscow bureau chief.
We heard some rumor that Putin took somebody's ring at an event, but it wasn't there was no big deal made out of it at the time.
But last week, while being honored for his philanthropy in Carnegie Hall,
I'm tremendously humbled by this great honor.
Kraft told a different story, according to the New York Post. Kraft said the Bush White House pressured him to say it was a gift because he never intended to part with the 4.9-carat diamond-studded ring commemorating the Patriots' Super Bowl 39 victory. Kraft reportedly said, I took out the ring and showed it to Putin, and he put it on, and he goes, I can kill someone with this ring. I put my hand out, and he put it in his pocket, and 3 KGB guys got around him and walked out. Kraft's wife, now deceased, told the New York Times something similar back in 2007, 2 years after the visit.
Maybe taking that ring was one of the things that you do without really thinking about it when you're the president of one of the most powerful nations on earth.
A spokesman for Kraft told CBS this morning it's a humorous anecdotal story that Robert retells for laughs. He loves that his ring is at the Kremlin. But for the Kremlin, it was no laughing matter. A spokesman told reporters if Kraft wants the ring back that badly, Putin is willing to send him another ring as a gift. Charlie and Nora?
I love that the Chip. Thank you. I love that the Putin spokesperson says he can have another ring as a gift, not the gift that Kraft wants back.
Has he acknowledged that he has it?
Apparently, because the Putin's administration says we'll send you another one. Yes, in the Kremlin, they've admitted it. Yeah, it has something like 124 diamonds. It's quite a ring.
But it's also true that Bob Kraft loved telling the story.
Yes, and has told it before, and now it's getting attention just hours ahead of their meeting together.
And how hard is it to get a...
Now, all these white people joke and laugh about this, but this is no laughing matter. Who wants to be known, especially as a head of the state, as a thief? And this is not only, I think this is not only something that is proven with, both sides admitting that it happened, but with photographic evidence. And I don't think it's as simple as Vladimir Putin really liked it and so he took it. I think it's a message. And like I said, I think that the world leaders are on to the United States about these acts of false flag terrorism. And I think that even back in, I don't know when this happened, 07, 08, 09, I don't know, I'm not sure. But even back then, they were hip to the fact that the NFL owners are war profiteers. They do have big-time investments in war, probably big-time investments in the private war industry, and that they might be sick of them, and that we don't like the things that you do, and, we're watching you. I think that was the message there. So I just wanted to point that out, that although my ideas about NFL ownership, war profiteering, is based off of what God told me, off the financial contributions the Defense Department has made to the NFL, and some other observations. I think that Putin and them know too, man. And when he took Robert Kraft's Super Bowl ring, he was telling him, "Ho, we see what you're doing, and you're not as strong as you think you are." That was the message. And it's disturbing that people think this is funny or this is some type of joke. This is serious. And Putin was trying to send a message to that guy that, you may think you big and bad, but I'm a lot big and better. And they are. So the Krafts and these other NFL owners, man, they may think that the things that they do are covered up and nobody can see it, but the world leaders, I think, are hip to it. We know God sees everything, and King Stephen sees too. So I just wanted to go over that today, in that the NFL owners know where they want this thing to get kicked off, and the reason why the war against, at least against Islam, and the reason why they hate Colin Kaepernick is because he subconsciously hurt their recruiting efforts with his protests and cost him not much money, probably a couple $1 million. And I don't think that couple $1 million is under the collective bargaining agreement. But nonetheless, greed could probably cost them some recruits, some young men now are not as patriotic as they used to be because of what they learned about America through Colin Kaepernick, and they're mad about it. So they want to make sure he's not in the way and not a factor when they're trying to recruit these young guys based around the false flag act of terrorism they have planned. But don't think that the world is aloof, or at least the people at the top of the leadership in these military organizations from other places in the world, they know what's going on. They know what these big money guys, these billionaires over here in America are invested in. That's war, and they're not stupid. And Vladimir Putin sent that message to Robert Kraft when he came to the Kremlin, and that I see what you're doing, or at least I think that was it. I'll try. Hopefully, in the near future, I'll get some confirmation on that. But yeah, man, it's pretty dark, huh? The NFL owners think that what they do is in the darkness, but it's not. If the people of the world aren't hip to things, definitely the world leaders are people that have a whole lot of real serious and hard intelligence knowledge on military activities know. And this is one time where a message was sent to what most likely is in Robert Kraft, a war profiteer. So that's all really I wanted to discuss here is this incident. Because I'm surprised it hadn't been talked about more. It's very extraordinarily relevant. especially seeing is the beef that the owners have with Colin Kaepernick. It seems like people are missing the fact that that's really about this war money and this war that they get trying to get cranked up this summer, and they don't need Colin Kaepernick around getting in the way of that. That's how greedy and nasty they are. He's not even, and Kaepernick ain't even against war, you know, or the troops or anything like that. Not as radical as what you would think you would need to be in order to get some people that had investments in it pissed off. But there you go. When you're greedy, you're all the way degenerate. So it always seems like I forget something when I make these Book of Stephen podcast videos. But oh yeah, one last thing. Why do the owners want to destroy a college football stadium? Greed. Okay, that's one big detail that I left out. The reason why the owners are so interested, or it'll be a college football stadium and not a pro one, is because they own the pro football stadiums. So they are not interested in destroying their own property. That's their conscious stance. Okay, the subconscious thing is that's the spiritual target, because that's the feeding place. And it's the site of the greatest celebration ever. So, yeah, man, the NFL owners are extremely conscious of what they're doing and where they're standing. And when you see that college football stadium drop, know it's because the owners don't want to tear up their own stuff. And they're at the center of this. They're the ones that have hired, I guess, the mercenaries or whoever. I'm assuming it's mercenaries to do this act of demolition. And yeah, man, they don't mind tearing up something that's not their own, you know. So that's why you won't see any of the 32 NFL stadiums drop, is because, hey, we spent so many hundreds of millions to build these things. I guess they could get an insurance deal on them, but that's how greedy these guys are. So yeah, I wanted to put in that detail, man. Is that this is about yeah, man, this is it's consciously very well planned out. So Colin Kaepernick is an unfortunate victim of this. You should see them try and blow up his car or whatever and attack him. That's what guys showed me. But yeah, I can't believe that people just stand by and watch this crap. It's disgusting, man, to see somebody innocent like this just want to play the game of football get victimized because of the maniacal war plot of very rich and arrogant men. All right, guys, that's the official end of the Book of Stephen podcast. Like I said, I guess these be some deep videos, so I get all into stuff and be breaking stuff down, and I forget small details. So, peace out.